Greetings, my MGTOW brothers. I am empowered MGTOW, which is what we all are. So I've got a list of topics to cover today, and I hope that many of you have already done the exercise of looking into your genius. The book that I mentioned in my first video is Your Genius at Work. It's so powerful, and it has influenced me in many areas of my life, helped to put together questions and pieces that were seemingly separate, but really created a sense of identity and helped me to define my purpose. So those are questions that always come up for us MGTOW, especially since we're not letting society, gynocracy, family, to whatever extent we can separate ourselves from any and all of them to define us. So please go through that workbook, and if you have, please add your genius if you want to in the comments, or just make a comment and say, yes, I've done it, it was helpful, or this is what I like, this is what I didn't like. Let's put some information in there. That would be excellent. So that was the main assignment, I'd say, from the last video. I like to give homework if you guys are willing to play the game with me, because we're all self-directed men, and sometimes we like a little bit of encouragement, coaching, goading, chastising, and support, right? As men, we have to challenge each other. So this is my challenge to you, is to find your genius and live it, even if only you know what it is. But it is transformative. It can be. At least that's been my experience. So topics that I want to cover today, and I'm going to call this video Tools for the MGTOW. Maybe part 1. I might make a couple of videos because there's a lot in here. So briefly, what I want to look at are tools to assist with how to breathe properly. How do you breathe when you want to calm yourself versus to stimulate yourself, to bring your physiology to a higher state, or to bring it to a more relaxed, sedate state. Why that matters. I mean, this is a very, very deep topic, and there's a lot of research on it. What the heart and mind coherence refers to. The fact that the heart and the mind are actually connected, then that when the heart becomes, the heartbeat, the heart rate becomes orderly, you get a more orderly mental pattern, and you can actually be more intelligent. You are more intelligent when you're breathing in a way that's deep and regular and synchronizes your heart rhythm to your mind. It's incredibly, incredibly important, powerful. And then to take things to a level where Wim Hof, for those of you who don't know of him, but he's known as the Iceman, and that's what this talk that I have here with Joe Rogan, and I'm just going to play a little bit of it, what it refers to, this Wim Hof TED Talk. And I actually haven't even seen the whole thing, but just the first half hour of it, the first 15-20 minutes, man, just spend some time and look him up and watch his videos. I mean, talk about fucking inspiring. Here's another video over on the right side, this recommended video, another TED Talk, another Joe Rogan Experience that was even later than this one. So, man, the guy is incredible. As he says, cold is his guru. I mean, really, I'm starting off with this because if you're not breathing, you're dead. And if you're breathing properly, your mind and your heart are going to be synchronized. And when you have the synchronization, you get all kinds of body, mind, health benefits, and then you improve your immune function. And this can also tie into the idea of cold showers, because he uses cold as his teacher, and it's amazing. So let me just play a little bit of that to start off with here.
And boom, we're live. You're here.
Nice.
With not a wolf t-shirt on, nonetheless.
Yes. Endurance, you know.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, something. I bought it this morning. I thought it's of the Lakota Indians in the Venice Beach.
Venice Beach, Lakota Indians, they're probably not legit.
Probably.
Pakistan
Funny.
or something.
Yeah, probably. But the symbol, it symbolizes endurance, but not, not physical endurance, though I did stuff, but more like believing.
You have a very fascinating life, my friend, and you have done some amazing things. I've been paying attention to you for the last couple months, pretty intensely, and leading up to this podcast, I've been researching you a lot. And first of all, I want to know, how did all this get started? For people who don't know who you are, you've accomplished a ton of world records. You've endured things that most people think may be physically impossible. You've proven they're possible. You've shown that you can alter your immune system on demand. You can regulate levels of stress hormones that people thought were unable to be controlled by the human mind, that were autonomous. And you're doing this all like on your own. I've never heard of anybody else doing this. First of all, how did you get started in this? And what led you to this?
Yes, like many, probably, I was in a soul search. And I visited many countries, traditions, languages, esoteric disciplines, and also like you know, karate and kung fu and yoga, but also the dervish, the Sufi, Buddhism, all kinds of traditions and disciplines, but it could not really fulfill me in the depth. A certain day, it was a Sunday, I was attracted to cold water. I don't know why, but because I was seeking already for years. You have a charge within you. You always keep on looking, searching, seeking. And at that moment I felt the attraction, and I knew I'm going to go in, you know, ice water. And it only took me 30 seconds or 1 minute it took, but I felt this is it. This is able to connect me with the depth of my physiology, the way nature has meant it to be. So it felt too good. I felt connected.
This is not something you were drawn to before?
Not really.
So there you go. There's a taste. So again, man, guys, I saw this for the first time a couple months ago, and started to take advantage of my gym's sauna. I would go into the sauna, and usually before I do a workout. I also like to do rock climbing, so I would get in there, warm up with some cardio. Then I started to do a little bit of sauna, and then I'd go and take a cold shower. Sometimes I just start with a cold shower, but I mean, he's talking about being fully immersed or whatever you can deal with, and that's like ice water. So I haven't done ice water, but I've been switching to cold showers, and absolutely you feel good. There's health benefits galore. So watch the talk. If that's all you get from this, just get familiar with Wim Hof, man, because there is so much more that we can do, and we have to be able to push ourselves. I mean, how many of us like to be cold? How many of us would want to go into a cold shower? You know, I thought like, oh yeah, that sounds okay. Then you do it, and man, when you're in it, you're like, you gotta breathe. I mean, you either breathe or you're just like freaking your ass out and you can't take it. So it just ties together, you know, it totally ties together. And also there's a TED Talk by Dr. Alan Watkins. I'll put a link in the video, in the description box. It's a TEDx talk. It's basically, well, I'll just say being brilliant every single day. And there's a two-part talk. Make sure you watch the full 40 minutes or both parts 1 and 2. That's also excellent because he talks about the physiology, and that basically if he can track your coherence, measure your cardiac coherence, which is the order of your heart rate. If he can track that for a day, he says, I can tell you when you're going to die. So that's that also got my attention. So again, this is all coming back to body, mind, heart, intelligence, how to get your peak performance. That's what Dr. Watkins talks about. He works with executives. So that's extremely powerful too. And I like to start from fundamentals. So fundamental, breathing. How do you breathe? What is it? What are you doing when you're breathing? You're oxygenating your cells. How deeply are you breathing? Are you breathing from your belly? There's yogic types of breathing as well. I mean, I would recommend getting there's podcasts. I think he has Wim Hof sells a method on how to do his breathing. And I also recommend this Inner Balance app from Institute of HeartMath. So you can get that. They used to only have it for iPhone. Now it's available for Android. That's, I think, about like $70 or $80. And so you can actually track your breathing through your phone, and you can visualize as you're breathing in and out as your coherence increases and decreases. So they have a little graphs here. I mean, it's a great app. Absolutely, it works. it's gives you visualization on what's going on. Like this is here, it's tracking kind of your heart rhythm changes and whatnot. So you can, as you breathe in, it switches in and out. Definitely, I mean, getting a grip with that, because to get to the spiritual level, I mean, to respire is to take in spirit. To be inspired is to be in, to receive spirit. Inspire, respire, inspiration. That's inspiration is everything. Literally. I mean, and I'm really big on it. I found the power and impact on that. And for those of you that are into things like chanting, I've done some of that. You can just chant Om, or as it was properly spelled, Om. Just a nice long, I'll do it right now. Thank you, my brothers. We'll go on in part 2. See you then.